I think as far as leadership, that grows no matter where you are every day. If you want to be a leader, if you strive to be a leader every day, and I think being around, Rouse and Spo, D Wade and UD, and just to name a few, being a part of that culture allowed me to grow, allowed me to see, what it takes to not only compete for a championship, but also to win a championship. So it definitely, put me in a position where I knew what it took. I saw what it took. But also, I fit that culture as well because of how hard I work. So it was a perfect match for those 4 years.
Hey, LeBron, it's Bill Oram. Would it have any extra meaning to you to win a championship against Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra, guys that have helped shape you and vice versa in those years together?
Absolutely not. It's no extra meaning to winning a championship, no matter who you're playing against. It's already hard enough to even reach the finals.
Dave McMenamin?
LeBron, 6 years after playing for Miami, how do you feel about Pat Riley?
That's such a broad question, Dave. I don't understand.
Leaves it open for interpretation. Like, when you hear the name Pat Riley, what do you think about? How do you describe your relationship?
When I hear the word Pat Riley, you think about probably one of the greatest minds that this game has ever had. He's won at every level. Seen a stat the other day that he's been part of a championship in 4 decades.
Sort of approach kind of getting through this grind of 3 months here?
It's probably been the most challenging thing I've ever done as far as a professional, as far as committing to something and actually, making it through. But I knew what I was coming, what we were coming here for. Obviously, you didn't. I would be lying if I sat up here and knew that everything inside the bubble would what it would, the toll that it would take on your mind and your body and and everything else, throughout these. I don't even know how many days it is. Whatever how many days it is, it feels like 5 years. So it really doesn't matter. But I've been as locked in as I've ever been in my career.
LeBron, from your vantage point, what do you think it is about Eric Spoelstra that allows him, no matter if it's coaching number 1 picks or kind of a collection of undrafted / lower drafted guys, that allows him to continue to bring groups back here to the finals, but also not necessarily always be in the conversation with that upper echelon of coaches?
Well, that's a question for you guys. And the players and the coaches know how great Spo is.
Political financial data that is out there that shows that pro sports owners, including NBA owners, donate overwhelmingly to Republican causes. I know they've pledged a lot of money to help with racial and social justice issues, but do you feel that those political contributions undercut some of the efforts that players are making to gain progress on those topics?
Well, one, I'm not going to give my energy to that because it's not surprising. And my mom has always told me that you control what you control. And I can't control that. What I can control is what I'm doing on my side and trying to have people gather around me and gather around my initiatives and doing what we're doing to try to affect change, not only in our communities, but outside of our communities, to the youth, and let them understand how important their voices and their vote is to our society. And it's hard as hell because they just don't believe it. They don't believe that their vote or their message or their minds or their voices matter. But that's what my energy is, on continuing to push the envelope in my community.
To this 10th finals now with do you feel like talent-wise, you don't have to worry about that problem this time?
I never had a problem with any team I went to the finals. I've always been confident that we had the ability to win.
What you maybe appreciate about reaching this level with your team that maybe you didn't when you were a younger guy?
Well, when I was a lot younger, I had a lot of success. I won at 21 years old, and now being 34, it's a completely different experience and understanding that this doesn't come often or annually. So for me to be back here, over a decade later, it's very humbling experience, and I'm letting my young guys know, from all the rookies to the second, third year players at Coos, that this opportunity doesn't come often. And guys search for this moment their entire career, and we definitely have to seize the moment.
The fact that LeBron's first time in the finals with the Lakers, it's that team on the other side and kind of that familiar cast of characters that he knows so well.
Yeah, I remember the Dallas, the first one in Miami. That's when I really kind of like started locking in into the finals. And I've always, watched it, but really started getting real goals and real dreams of being here one day from that 2011 team. And then just kind of been watching ever since. And he's a guy who obviously when he plays against his former teams, he wants to win very badly, just like anyone else would.
Frank, you guys have been tested so many ways this year. You've had a front row seat to see kind of LeBron's leadership and how it's operated. What have been your impressions on the way he's kind of helped steer you guys through all sorts of different things?
He's the best leader I've ever been around. Simplest way to put it, in terms of players. And, we've obviously, like you said, we've dealt with a lot of heavy emotional types of adversity that we've gone through. And, he sets a great tone with his example, but is also a great leader from a communicative standpoint, talking to guys, talking to the group, about the right mindset to have through certain situations. Being the leading voice, when things occur where we're all not really sure how to deal with it or what to say. He's been a leading voice in those situations and, just an integral part of our success this year.